Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Today I rise to address an issue that has impacted every single British Columbian, the carbon tax. After years of placing an unfair burden on hard-working families, this government has finally acknowledged that we have been saying all along. The carbon tax is unaffordable and is ineffective. While we welcome the decision to remove it, we must also acknowledge that this is only half the battle. The government's approach leaves a major issue unresolved, one that threatens the affordability of everyday life of British Columbians. For years, British Columbians have been paying more at the pumps, more on their home heatings, and more on basic necessities, all because of the carbon tax. This tax was supposed to be revenue neutral, but this NDP government changed it into a tax grab. In reality, this tax has made life more expensive for everyday people without delivering the environmental benefits it promised. The removal of the carbon tax was supposed to ease the financial burden on British Columbians, but because costs remain embedded in our economy, families are still feeling the squeeze in their daily lives, despite the promise of a relief. The government's decision to remove the carbon tax is not a comprehensive solution. It is a political maneuver to silence critics while failing to provide a real plan for affordability. They want to claim victory in reducing costs, but they waited until the 11th hour to rush this through. The Premier has flip-flopped multiple times on carbon tax, and now suddenly he wants to be the champion. This move shows just how unreliable this government is. Not only is this policy incomplete, but the way the government has handled it is completely incompetent. After 17 years of enforcing the carbon tax, they suddenly decide to cancel it within a single day, with no clear transition plan. British Columbians and Canadians alike have known for at least a month that the carbon tax cancellation was on the table. So why wasn't this government prepared? They had another opportunity just last week to recall the legislature for this urgent and important matter, yet they still didn't do it. Either this government is incompetent or they are playing political games to rush such a complex bill through, or maybe it's both. And now, when members of the House should be able to debate the implication of this decision, they are shutting down discussion. This is not only undemocratic, it is the proof of the government's incompetence. This abrupt cancellation has also left behind a massive $1.8 billion hole in our provincial revenue. This raises a serious question. How does this government plan to replace this lost revenue? Will they cut essential service? Will they raise other taxes? Or simply, will they leave a financial gap that the future generations will have to pay for it? Without a clear answer, British Columbians are left wondering if this decision will ultimately lead to more economic instability. Honourable Speaker, the purpose of removing the carbon tax was to ease the burden on British Columbians. However, because the government has failed to present a clear plan for economic stability, the cost of goods and service continues to be impacted, meaning the original goal of affordability has not been fully achieved. We call on this government to stop playing political games and start delivering real solutions. British Columbians deserve better. Thank you.